Check your attitude this morning. How'd you wake up? How you feeling right now? How'd you feel yesterday? Where was your attitude? Do you know how important it is to have a great attitude about your life? Do you know how important it is for you to actually be mindful about the attitude that you bring into the day, the attitude that you have when you're communicating with other people, when you're around your family and all the things? I see my guy BP on the call today. I'm gonna shout him out because his energy is super infectious on social. He always has a great attitude when he's communicating, right? How much is that in your life? Where's your attitude, right? Sometimes we need a attitude adjustment. Sometimes we need to check ourselves. But again, a lot of these things are reminders. I'm not telling you anything new, ladies and gentlemen. I know. This isn't just positive thinking, rah rah motivation. Of course, we need a little bit of that, but this is just the intentional ways that you have to start being in order to get to the life that you don't need a break from. Successful people have great attitudes about life, about their outlook on life. The world comes and gives us the opposite. The news, our family, the people around us are inherently negative, inherently don't think about things in the way they need to. Hence, that's why they are where they are in life. It's attitude. I think it was John Maxwell in there that says attitude is the paintbrush for your mind. Your attitude is the paintbrush for your mind. Well, if your mind is needed in order to get you to this life, then your attitude is coding that. It's allowing you to, it's either working for you or working against you. So these are things we got to remember. A couple things I wrote down. Attitude comes from belief, and that belief builds confidence. So again, everything starts with your thinking. If you change your thinking, you change your life. If you can change your thinking around the attitude, the disposition you have, the way you think about life, it'll lead into your beliefs. It'll bleed into your beliefs. And your beliefs are what determine your actions. The actions you take then create confidence in you. How do we create confidence? We keep small promises we make to ourselves. We say we're going to do something and we do it. That's a way to build self-confidence. So you have to have that belief. But guess what? Attitude comes from that belief. The fastest way to change your life is to change your attitude. Why? Because we can control it. So many of us try to control the uncontrollables. You can't control another human being. You can't control your boss. You can't control your family. You can't control your job. You can't control anything but your actions and your attitude. That's all you can control. Everything else you leave to God, you let him handle it, but you have a responsibility to control what you do, your actual actions. If you need to go get your health in order, you control yourself waking up and going to the gym. No one controls that. You control the actions you take on a day-to-day basis. How much you do inside of your business, how much you do for your family. Like you get to control your actions. No one is dictating that. Not even your job is controlling your time and all the stuff. Like you are controlling that. The other thing you can control is your attitude, how you react to things, how you think about things, how you go through the day. Many of us might not even think we control that. But I'm telling you, those are the only two things, your actions and your attitude. So today, just an attitude checkup. You just got to check. What's my attitude? You know, I always like saying, I think it said it in there, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. We all go through this human experience. We all go through similar things. Many of you right now are going through a trial, going through a test, going through a health challenge, going through a financial challenge, going through a relational challenge, have some internal issues, have some self-doubt, have some energy issues. Like we're all going through a similar experience. Life is only 10% about that. It's only 10% about exactly what you're going through. Your situation, I hate to break it to any of you, your situation is no different than other people. There's someone dying to be in your position right now. They would give up whatever they have going on to be in your position in life. Again, that goes back to a gratitude conversation of why we should be grateful, right? But at the end of the day, life is only 10% what's actually happening to you. It's 90% how you're reacting to it, how you think about it, what that brings up for you, your unhealed trauma and triggers that then show up because something is happening around you. You control that. We have to do this work in our text, the 177 mental toughness secrets. Again, just reiterating the stuff that we're already talking about. It says world-class attitude is what leads to world-class happiness. Some of us go through these emotional, sit in this emotional home of worry or doubt or fear, or, right? Whatever challenges it are. And eventually you're looking for that world-class happiness, that bliss, that joy, that feeling of fulfillment. Well, world-class attitude is what leads to that. You have a great attitude about life. You think on good things. It bleeds into your beliefs, which bleeds into your actions, which will give you the outcomes that you want if you're taking different steps. Starts with how you think. Here's what it says in here. It says world-class performers all seem to agree that attitude is everything. Did you not just hear that for the last 10 minutes? Right? World-class performers seem to agree that attitude is everything. Our research shows some champions are more focused on attitude than others. While two people might be at the same level of success, the one more focused on attitude reports being happier. While the masses try not to have a bad attitude in their struggle to survive, champions have a positive attitude and always try to improve their mental approach to life. While average people view the idea of attitude as fluff and rah-rah motivation, the world class sees it as the cornerstone of life. They realize their attitude has an impact on everyone they meet and everything they do, as well as a monumental effect on their level of happiness and fulfillment. At some point, champions realize the self-fulfilling nature of their own mental approach to life and make a decision to talk themselves into the attitude they wish to have. With this in mind, it would make sense that the higher ups in any organization have better attitudes. In our research, we found this to be true in most cases. Yet our research disclosed something I believe even more profound. The better the attitude toward life, the happier people seem to be. Say that again. The better the attitude toward life, the happier people seem to be. This proves the old idea that we create our own sense of happiness regardless of our station or our lot in life. Do you believe that? Is that your belief? Or do you believe your circumstances are what create your happiness and fulfillment? If I just had this, I'd be happier. If I just was here, I would feel better. If I just did, right? That's the opposite of what we're talking about here. It has nothing to do with your external world, it has nothing to do with your environment. Scripturally, right? Talks about learning to be content in every, right? In every environment, in every phase of life, in every season, we are content. That doesn't mean you're not trying. It means like you can still feel fulfillment, whether you have the thing you want or you don't have the thing you want. It doesn't matter. The better your attitude toward life, which you control. Again, I'm just making this as simple as possible because I know I work with a lot of you and a lot of people, and we often blame it on the things, the outside things. I've been guilty of it. I just understand that it has nothing to do with that. The better your attitude is toward life, the happier you'll be. And you get to choose your attitude. Like it says here, at some point, champions realize the self-fulfilling nature of their own mental approach to life. Whatever you think about, your mental approach to life becomes a self-fulfilling thing. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, either way, you're right. If you believe you can go do something, then guess what? Your approach, your mental approach to life will be different than if you believe you can't do something. So why not just believe that you can? Well, I mean, I know the answer to that is because we go off of our experiences. We've been knocked down. We have many experiences in life that have shown us that that might not be the case. So we stop walking by faith and more by our sight, by our experiences. So we stop believing that things are possible. That's what happens, right? That's what happens. So we have to shift. We have to shift. We have to say, I'm going to think it so that it becomes. I don't have to see it to believe it. I have to believe it and then I'm going to see it. This is all up here, y'all. This is all the mindset. This is all the things you can control. This is making a decision. Again, that sentence says at some point champions realize the self-fulfilling nature of their own mental approach to life and make a decision to talk themselves into the attitude they wish to have. My encouragement this Wednesday is for you to make a decision to talk yourself into the attitude you need to have to get to the life you don't need a break from. Who is that person? What attitude must you have? It's probably not the attitude you have right now. Otherwise, you'd probably be further along. Speaking to myself too. All right. Like that's how this works. And so you have to make a decision to say, you know what? I'm going to capture these. If that thought doesn't serve me, that's not a thought for me. If I start watching things, listening to things, being around people that are changing my attitude, I feel them changing it. I feel my energy going a different direction. I might have to distance myself from them so that I can consciously work on my attitude, consciously be mindful of the thoughts that are coming in and then what that is producing in my attitude. Because again, you can choose that. That's what is in your control. Your attitude is in your control. Again, I'm driving that point home because I know some of you don't really operate that way. You don't operate that this is in your control. You operate out of the circumstances you're in, right? Les Brown, I think in that video was saying like, what do you do when the car gets repossessed, when things aren't looking like are you the person that gets up and has the great attitude towards life and says, I'm going to make this thing happen? Like that example of his son. It's funny how a lot of kids do that. My daughter does that, right? My daughter does that a bunch. That if I beat her, I'm one of those parents. I don't let my daughter win, right? Like me and my wife go at it on that one, but I don't let her win. It's okay. Like she just gets better. She learns, but like she'll keep playing until she wins. She'll want to play again and play again. Now, earlier in her life, she'd get frustrated and she'd quit. She'd want to stop. Over the past couple years, we've worked that through. And so now she just wants to keep, come on, play again. All right, do it again. All right, again. What if that were you? Les Brown just said that in the video, but what if that were your attitude towards life? What if that were your attitude that we're not going to stop until we win? We're not going to stop until I get to this place. It's not going to, I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to get down on myself and stay down. I'm not going to do any of those things until we win, until we get to the life that we deserve, until we get a chance to experience all that God has for us. What if that were your attitude approaching life? Do you think you would get more out of life? Absolutely, you would. Absolutely, you would. The best part is this is a decision. It's a choice. You might not have lived this way for the past 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, but now you get another opportunity today to shift how you think. Can you teach an old dog new tricks? Absolutely, you can, if the dog is willing. If the dog is willing to learn new tricks, you absolutely can. So you got to shift how you are thinking about your life. You got to understand that attitude is crucial to your success. It's crucial. Don't just think right while you're struggling to survive. Like it says here, while the masses try not to have a bad attitude, you're trying not to have a bad attitude. Well, remember, whatever you focus on, you get more of. So if you're trying to not have a bad attitude, you will get a bad attitude. Your brain doesn't know the difference between not trying, not trying. It just knows bad attitude. So instead of trying to not have a bad attitude, like have a positive attitude and constantly try to improve your mental approach to life. How do you view hard things? How do you view the challenges? However you are thinking about it is what you're going to get more of, ladies and gentlemen. So we need a little attitude check for this Wednesday. Here's what it says in this quote. It says, I have one word definition of attitude: life. Attitude is the difference maker in life. It's the treasure that lies within you. A positive attitude is the key that jumpstarts your life. Attitude dictates whether you're living life or life is living you. Attitude determines whether you are on the way or in the way. Attitude, ladies and gentlemen, attitude. You You want to be the person that is exuding, right? Happiness, is exuding great energy. You're not always down. Again, we go through seasons in life. I get it. I get it. We go through seasons in life where we feel a little bit tired, where we're a little weary, where we're knocked down, where we don't have as much energy. Like, I get it. It's just how long will that be for you? How long do you get knocked down? I think John Maxwell in the video said, right? People that have great attitude, they're either up or they're getting up, right? They're up or they're getting up. They're not down. They're not knocked down. They're either up or they're getting up. But you have to train your brain how to think that way because life is coming to do the opposite. Life is coming to do the opposite. The action step for today says do a quick test on a scale from 1 to 7, 7 being best. How good is your attitude toward life? How good is your attitude toward life? It's really hard to be around people that are super pessimistic about life, about how we're at the end times and how people, right, it's the worst they've ever seen. Like their attitude towards life, what you start hearing around you is probably not helping you get to the life that you don't need a break from. So check yourself. How good is your attitude towards life? It says use critical thinking and be honest. Be honest. That's how you change, right? You're aware and you're honest with yourself. I'm just planting these seeds for you. You got to go back and do your own work, but be honest with yourself about that. It says if you score less than 7, remember that attitude is a decision and you can upgrade your worldview at any time. Attitude is a perception created in our minds that has little or nothing to do with circumstances, events, or other people. It is the foundation of all of our habits, actions, and behaviors. I'm just going to read that one more time so this can sink in for you this Wednesday. Just remember that attitude is a decision and you can upgrade your worldview at any time. That's your choice. Attitude is a perception created in our minds that has little or nothing to do with the circumstances, events, or other people. It's the foundation of all of our habits, actions, and behaviors. It's the paintbrush of your mind. This is what I need us to work on. When the world gets negative, we got to be positive. We got to know that this mindset that we can't let that stuff creep in. You get to control this. Block it out if you need to. Put new things in so that your mind can allow you, can direct you to the place that you want to go. All right. I love you guys. I want you to win. I want you to win. Like you deserve, like your family really does. They're really counting on you. You don't know this yet, but I promise you, they're counting on you to get this information. They're counting on you to have a great attitude, to teach them how to have a great attitude when the environment, when the circumstances of life start to beat them down, because it's going to happen to everybody. But they need to count on someone to be like, no, come on, let's do this. Let's think about it this way. No, come on, let's come this direction. And that's going to be you guys because you're here, you're taking in the information. Now I just need you to go back and do the work, y'all. Go back and do the work. Remember, it's not always going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. There's good stuff up ahead for you.